building to a crescendo all week, and very shortly it will be for real. We have all the action for you live. And a warm welcome on what is an ideal night for football, you've got to say. I'm Derek Ray in the commentary position, and I'm joined for expert analysis by my partner Stuart Robson. And we've got Premier League action coming right up. It's Brentford, and they take on...
Hello, welcome back to Armchair Armoury, and we are in the thick of it when it comes to Christmas and New Year fixtures. Excuse me, sip of tea there. We are now in the last days of 2024. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year for me personally. Football-wise, not been too bad. A little bit disappointing that Arsenal didn't win the league, and it doesn't look like we're going to win the league this season. I think just before I started recording, I think Liverpool absolutely wiped the floor with West Ham United 5-0. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Liverpool are going to win the league at this point. I can't really see it going any other way. And as I said when I was having my little rant about Arsenal fans' fickleness and stuff like that around the manager, I'm not really going to say too much until the end of the season. But the one thing I will say is that, you know, questions will be asked if we finish out of the top two. You know, we've regressed from last year and we don't win a trophy. That's where I'll start to be like, okay, maybe we need to start thinking about whether Arteta's the right guy to take us forward. But today is not that day to have that conversation. When I'm doing my season review at the end of the year, that might be when I actually say something. But on New Year's Day, first day of 2025, we are playing Brentford at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford, who in their last game, which I believe was against Brighton, who we play after Brentford, they drew 0-0. I think they're currently sat mid-table, from what I know. Mid to low table, I believe. Looking at the table now, it's just depressing seeing Liverpool like 10 points clear now. I think it's 10 points. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 9 points. 9 points clear again. If we beat Brentford on New Year's Day, we can narrow that down to 6 again. But they still have a game in hand. So yeah, Brentford are in 12th at the moment. They've had a bit of a indifferent time recently. In the last 5, they've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 3. Nottingham Forest, by the way, seem to be on a roll at the moment. I think that's 5 wins in a row for them, and they're in 2nd at the moment, with us in 3rd and Chelsea in 4th. City actually won a game today as well, interestingly. Beat Leicester 2-0. But yeah, and Brentford over the last couple of years, since they've made their debut in the Premier League, they have been a bit of a bogey team for us, especially at their ground. Obviously, their first sort of foray into the Premier League, that very first night, on that Friday night when in Arteta's first full season, I think it was either his first full season or his second season, I can't remember. But yeah, we lost 2-0 that night. And, you know, fucking Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher celebrating with the Brentford fans because both of them can't stand Arsenal as a football club. I think, to be honest, the reason why Gary Neville said at the start of the season that he wants his pick for Arsenal winning the league is because he was trying to do reverse psychology. I think, really and truthfully, yeah, he probably would prefer us to win it over Liverpool or City, but I don't think he would want us to win it full stop. But yeah, so to be fair, most cases we have beaten them. So the last 5 meetings we've won 4 and drawn 1. And obviously that draw was quite significant. That was where the VAR officials forgot to draw the lines for it was either for Tony's goal or for a goal we scored to make it 2-1. Let me see whether that's the case. Yeah, it was Tony's goal. Yeah, so we've not done too badly against them. Our last result was obviously in March, beat them 2-1 at the Emirates. Rice and Havertz with the goal. But they're a good side. Thomas Frank is a good manager, and they're going to be tough regardless. Again, this is another game. I said after the Ipswich game that it was the first game post Saka. I actually think, despite the fact that we made Ipswich look more hard work, I think Brentford and Brighton are going to be the two games that are really going to test us without Saka. The one thing I'll say, just to follow on from the result against Ipswich, and I said, and I stand by what I said, that I wasn't too fussed about the fact that it wasn't a high scoring game. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be. I knew that there was going to be a little bit of experimentation going on, like with Martinelli on the right hand side and that sort of stuff. I knew that it wasn't going to be simple. I knew it wasn't going to be a simple 3-4-0 flat thrashing. Again, I'm seeing the same people, and I'm seeing people online complaining about the performance, and that I get it in a way, because it's like you're worried about the future. You're worried when we come up against a Brentford or a Brighton or a Newcastle in the new year in the Carabao Cup, or Man United in the FA Cup, or Spurs or Man City, who are the next games coming up in the new year. It's going to be difficult to see where the goals are coming from, and I totally get that. And I do agree with the consensus that we do need an attacking player in January. I've just supported this club so long that I know that we very rarely, unless panicked, buy in January. I know we loaned in Ødegaard on January before making him permanent in that summer. I know we brought in Trossard. We need to do what Spurs did in that season that we were going for top four with them. We need to. They signed Kulusevski in January of that year, of that season, and that's what basically got them that Champions League spot. That's what basically was the difference between us and them. Was Kulusevski. They brought in a decent right-sided midfielder from Inter Milan. I think they had an injury in that season, and that's what got them over the line. Essentially, that's what got them into the position that they got into. Kulusevski's doing really well this season as well, actually. But yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, we do need to get an attacking player, but I'm too pessimistic to believe that the club are going to go and do it. And at the end of the season, this is probably going to be something that a lot of fans will say, if we don't make headway this season at all, winning a trophy. To be fair, I will as well, but there will be people saying, we didn't sign in January, it's a missed opportunity, and countless times this has happened. I think in the last 2 seasons we haven't signed anyone in January. But I stand by what I said when I was talking about the Arteta out stuff and the comparisons with Wenger out and all that sort of stuff. And the club won't do what you tell them to do. Yes, you guys pay money. We all pay our subscription to Sky and all that sort of stuff, and our season tickets and all that sort of stuff, and our merchandise. I'm wearing last season's away kit right now, but they won't do it just because you're kicking up a fuss. So let's just hope that they actually. I mean, Arteta did say, but he has had a habit of being economical with the truth. Arteta did say that injury will be the only thing that will make us go into the market. We have a massive injury in Bukayo Saka. He's probably not going to be back until early to mid-February now, on the sort of same level as Ødegaard. And obviously our only backup in that area at the moment is Raheem Sterling, who also is out for an undisclosed amount of time. I'm hearing it's not as bad as initially thought, because I think it was something like a month or something like that, so it might be a couple of weeks. There's also been rumours that he's been carrying an injury a long time anyway, since his latter time at Chelsea, so that's why Arteta hasn't really played him or has been managing his minutes. I don't know. We do need something. I was looking at Mohamed Kudus today at West Ham against Liverpool, and I was like, that's the perfect type of player that Arsenal need. But apparently he's got like a massive release clause, so I'm not sure how doable that is. You know, there's obviously Victor Gyökeres and players like that, who, from what I understand, has said that he wants to see the season out with Sporting Lisbon. So again, you can't really do much with that. This is why January is annoying, because a lot of the time you don't have players available. You don't have players willing to move. You know, the only type of players that you would see moving are players that might necessarily, you know, they're not necessarily in championship winning teams or something like that. So, you know, when we signed Trossard, you know, Brighton were doing well, but, you know, they were never going to be sort of like Champions League, Europa League, Conference League level, although they did actually get into the Conference League that year. So yeah, like if we could get someone like Cunha or Kudus or someone like that, that would be perfectly fine. All of these fans thinking we're going to go and get Victor Gyökeres or go and get Nico Williams are deluded, as usual. You know, these people that think that football is basically EAFC or FIFA, they just think, oh, you just put on the dial the amount of money and then they'll accept it. It's just, it doesn't normally work like that. It depends on the player, depends on the position of the club in that season. January is a crucial time for a lot of leagues. So, you know, if you're 3 points off a Champions League place or 3 points off the title, and one of your best players is being eyed, you're obviously going to not sell him. So, yeah, I don't think it's as simple as just, we need this player, go and get him. People should know that by now, to be honest. And that's the thing. I just hope that history doesn't repeat itself and Arsenal don't just rest on their laurels, because we've been punished by this before. I think last season you can kind of give it the benefit of the doubt because we took City all the way and we only lost by 2 points. The season before, when we lost Saliba and Tomiyasu in that run-in, that's where you could have said that was the difference. You know, having a backup centre-back, etc., is the difference for Saliba. So yeah, I think this is one of those seasons. I think if we don't reinforce and bring in an attacking player or bring in a couple of players in January, that sort of me moving to questioning Arteta is going to become more prevalent come the end of the season, because I don't think that if we have any more injuries, yeah, we're in trouble, put it that way. But in terms of the Brentford game, I think on paper we should win it, but I know that we now need to, I said after Ipswich, it's all about just getting the result and getting the 3 points. I don't care about the performance. We just need to keep hot on the heels and keep, you know, trying to distance ourselves or keep up with Chelsea and also keep up with Liverpool. We just have to keep winning at the end of the day. It's going to be a tough game, don't get me wrong, because the GTEC, they are very good at home, and you know, a couple of times it's been closer than we expected. So yeah, I do expect some kind of, I do expect us to win the game, but I just can't be quite sure of it at the moment. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 or anything like that. If we do win, I think we'll just about nick it. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back again, wishing you all a happy new year. I'm going to do that at the end of the video anyway, but still. Yeah, I'll be back again on New Year's Day, giving my thoughts on the game, hopefully in a good mood. And yeah, I'll see you then. Like and subscribe. Enjoy what's left of this EAFC 25 simulation. Happy New Year for those that don't watch now and watch then. Wishing you all the best for 2025. Again, I mean, it's very difficult because I've got multiple streams on this channel, but because I do this one the most, do Armchair Armory the most, I thought I would say that thank you for all of those that have subscribed this year. I think I've gone up by 112 subscribers or something like that since sort of Easter last year, so very much appreciated. I'm glad that, you know, there are people out there that even if they're only listening to me for a couple of minutes, every time, that's most appreciated, because when I started this, I didn't think I'd get anywhere. I just wanted to get my thoughts off. I was sick and tired of hearing the sort of binary opinions in football, binary opinions in film, TV, and video games. So I thought I'd try and bring a bit of nuance to stuff. So thank you for that. Yeah, all that's left to say is to take care and stay safe.
Danger. Over the touchline for what will be a Brentford throw. Could play it in. Making sure nothing came of it. Now the counter-attack looks on. Elected to shoot. Oh, he saved it well. So a personnel change then. Played over. So 3 minutes of stoppage time coming up. Well, smuggled behind for another corner. Danger still on. And he takes on the shot. And the keeper making sure that was pushed well away from danger. And so that. The referee blows for full time. A victory for Arsenal.
Well, fairly comfortable in the end, wasn't it? Thought they controlled the middle of the park well. Going forward, there was some really nice incisive play too. It's a good result for them.
Well, Kai Havertz really showed what a fine performer he can be. He deserves all the credit going, I think.
Yeah, I think the only thing you could question, could he have been a touch more clinical in front of goal? Maybe should have had 2 or 3 today. Regardless of that, it was a good performance and a great result.